book friends. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Booking It with me, Jonna, your fave. I have the most fun ever person on my podcast. I have the winner of the Best Indie Book Award of 2024 for Young Adults, Biba Young Adult Award. For Twice Removed, she is also the author of the Wool Gathering Trilogy, Reverie, Revenant, and Reveal.
Reveal, yeah.
Reveal. Okay, that's what I thought. I was like, it's revealed, and I was like, it's Reveal. I know it.
Reveal. It's French.
I know. I saw the little accent over it. I was like, okay. I see. She is an author, photographer, engineer, educator, artist, wife, and mother. I have Z Lacson, everybody.
Yay!
Z, welcome to
Waiting
the
for the
show.
crowd.
I know. You Miss America wave.
Yes. Oh, then you got a point. Like,
you could be here too. This could be you one day. Z, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on and hanging out with me.
I'm already having a good time.
Hey, I'm all about having a good time. I want everything to be chill and fun, not too serious, because there's lots of serious podcasts out there, which I love, but I'm not a very serious person 98% of the time. You can ask my family. Everything's a joke to me. So,
we're keeping it real.
Yes, absolutely. I make jokes out of the most unjokeable things. So,
Noted.
I've been trying really hard to not do that with my friend right now, but I'm like, we're gonna get there. I promise. I promise we're gonna get there. All right.
We all have goals.
One of my goals is to just make everybody laugh, and I try and do that with everybody that I talk to. So that's what's important.
Mission accomplished.
All right. Did one of your screens go to sleep?
My light went to sleep.
Like I said, I'm actually so tired.
I guess it was like I'm not moving enough, maybe. And it was like, oh, you're off now. So now it's all dark.
That's okay. Your lighting still looks fine, so it's totally fine.
Okay,
and
good.
Also, I just want to say that me and Z are totally matching in our gray shirts today. Didn't even plan
We talked
that.
about it. We talked about it.
Totally talked about it. Totally talked about it in our 10 emails that we exchanged. Totally talked about it.
Not at all about the time that we're supposed to meet, but about the t-shirt. All right.
Z is on Central Time. I'm on Eastern Time. There's a little time mix up, but we made it, and that's what's important.
We are here.
All right. Well, my first question for you is going to be, what got you into writing?
I think it's therapy, isn't it? It's therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you're younger and you had to get some things out and not be laughed at, you would write it. So I felt like this whole thing started because I was a little kid that didn't want to get laughed at. So I just would write things out. So writing in itself started out as a fun thing, a fun escape, a thing that you do. And you have great teachers who say good job, keep it up, try this, do that, and it turns into something.
Yeah.
And I didn't think that, when I was 11 years old, I wrote a novel-length fan fiction. It was totally Star Trek, but kids in space,
I love it.
Like my age kids in space. What a coincidence. But I wrote that whole thing, right? And because I printed it out on form feed paper back in the day, with dot matrix printer, that it fades. So the book starts off dark ink and then fades, and then dark and then fades, And I didn't know how to do it back and forth, so it's this thick. But I'm like, I want it to be the same size as all my pocketbooks. So I'm going to shrink the font so that it'll fit there. So I had this thick book. It's hardcover, by the way.
Nice.
And then I had wrapped and everything. And I felt super accomplished because I I started at 11. I think I finished it. I was 14 when I finally bound it or something. And
Nice.
I thought, like, I'm an author. So I wrote an author's note in that book that I made. Okay.
Okay.
And I wrote it and I said, being a professional author or artist is not something I want to do. Because I say, and we did mention that I was a photographer too.
Yeah.
Anyway, my 11-year-old self is like, I'm not going to do all these things. I'm going to be practical because you have to be like super good at this to make any kind of money. So, you know what? I'm just going to go be an engineer. And then here I am. So either my 11-year-old self is going to be like, or like, wow,
Like,
one thing or the other.
you managed to do both. Actually, you've managed to do multiple. So like,
Yeah.
I think your 11-year-old self would be super proud of you.
Woo!
All right. Well, tell me about your books. I want to hear about your award-winning book, Twice Removed, first, because it did win the 2024 Biba Young Adult Award, which congratulations.
Thanks. It even won the 2025 International Impact Book Award too. So
Ooh.
like people like this one.
Ooh. Tell me about
Yes.
it.
It is a story of three generations, two families, and one Filipino folklore monster, the Manananggal. And I think that's what makes it particularly unique is because there's not a lot of that representation in mainstream media to begin with. So like I like talking about the three generations because then it doesn't matter what age you are when you're reading this thing, because at one generation you're eventually going to connect with.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason it is that way is because there's all these nuances, right? It's an immigrant story, essentially, right? And it's the story of the grandparents that don't speak English at all and are here, and the story of the parents who speak both English and Filipino that came here, like when they were in their mid age or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But, and the story of the kid that was born here, who's American and speaks only English but is
Mm.
still caught between the two worlds, right? So it's twice removed because twice removed is a generational thing, like your grandparents and your grandkids. It means you're twice removed. Once removed
Got you.
is from this generation, this generation. So it's three generations, so it's twice removed. And then you're being removed from one country to the other, you
Got
know.
you.
And the Filipino folklore monster, the Manananggal. Do you know anything about this monster?
No, I was looking at your website and I tried to read the name and I was like, I'm not even gonna
You're like,
attempt
I'm
to read.
done.
I was like, you know what? I was like, she'll tell me all about it because I have no idea how to say that.
It is a Manananggal.
Manananggal. What's up?
Doo,
Okay.
doo, 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 doo.
Now I gotta hear the lore.
Oh yeah. Oh, side note, my editor is from the UK and she was telling me that she started getting like tics when she read there's too many NGs and A's in that. She's like, I just have to accept it. This poor woman. So the Manananggal is a beautiful woman during the day, right? And then at night, she goes off to where the banana trees are. She grows wings, a long tongue, cuts herself in half. She splits, right? And like her innards are dangling. And then she goes off, flies, just leaves her bottom half there. It's just standing there, just chilling, here to wait for you. And that the wings go flying to find its victims. And then before sunrise, has to go back to her legs and dock like a Roomba in order to be a beautiful woman once again.
What?
Ask me what she likes to eat.
What does she like to eat? I hope it's people.
Unborn babies.
Oh, that's
I did not
crazy.
make this up. Okay, this is lore that we grew up with in the Philippines. So, like every Filipino that grew up in the Philippines knows about this monster in the same way that you would know about vampires and
Mm-hmm.
werewolves,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
zombies. It's a thing, right?
Yeah.
So I come over here and I talk about this, and people are like, "That's crazy." And I go, "Really? You don't have one of these here? No, no." And so like I when I did research for this book, right, I find out it's only in the Philippines and like some provinces of Vietnam. So I
Hmm.
guess with wings, she doesn't go very far. I guess because she's got her luggage just leaving there and with the
Well, I mean,
banana
like she
trees
she has to be back by the time the sun
by
comes up.
sunset.
So like, you know,
But
you
she can
can't go
carry
that.
it with her.
I feel like that would prevent her from eating the babies, though. You know, like that's a lot to like. You got to carry them, and you got to put them down. You got to, you know, it just seems like a lot of work.
I don't know if you've heard, but DreamWorks is coming up with this new animated movie. It's called Forgotten Island. And this monster I'm talking about is going to be there. And so I'm like, hey guys, it's required reading for the movie.
She's like, if you guys want to go see this movie, you have to read Twice Removed.
I literally
Have
did
to.
that. I did like, everyone's excited for this movie. Read this first.
As you should. That is great marketing for yourself. 100%. I love it. I love
I'm
it.
like, I'm like, she's got in the book, she's got her innards. That's her innards, just
That's
like
so crazy.
hanging there.
But
Like,
like,
ooh.
don't I feel like why does she have to split herself in half? Like, wouldn't her legs be like super helpful?
You would think, right? But no, maybe they're too heavy. Maybe there's the wingspan is only enough for half her body. And she's just like, maybe just leave this over here.
I just kind of want to talk to her and just be like, "Girlie,
I have
what's the deal?"
questions.
I have so many questions.
But
So
it's pretty horrifying, I think.
yeah, it sounds honestly. If I saw something like that, I'd probably have to die right on the spot. Be like, I can't do this anymore. What what has my life even become right now? What am I even looking at?
Yeah, and this is a thing that still exists. Like people still will swear that they have seen one or they've experienced one, even in the modern world. The same way with ghosts and spirits and like supernatural things. Wild.
That's crazy.
But this it sounds horrible, but like the story is not horror.
Right.
Like it's not. Majority of it, it's really more of a coming of age story about
Got you.
identity and culture and coming together and
Got you.
whatever, right? But like as I was writing this, I was told that if I didn't tell people upfront that there's a monster in there, people will be angry at me. So they're like, it has to be your headliner. I know it's not what your book is about, but it has to be your headliner. And I'm like, okay.
Well,
So
yeah, yeah, I know. It was on your website. It's like three generations, one family, one monster, or something like that. And I was like, wait, there's a monster?
they
Oh,
have
okay.
to, right? Like,
Like I
but
just
then people get it and they're like, I want to know more about this monster. And the monster doesn't show up until like page 300 or something. And they're like, I can't please everybody.
You said it's a real slow burn with the monster
It's a
guys.
slow burn
Real
with the
slow burn.
monster. Slow burn. But it's worth it.
Slow burns usually are. I hate when a slow burn isn't worth it. I'm like, I'm not reading the rest of this. I am upset.
I will throw this book across the wall.
Look,
Yeah.
I've done it before. My cats do not like it. They don't like it at all when I throw things. Yeah, but they're totally used to my shenanigans now. They don't even like blink when I do anything. Like,
Just mom being mom.
literally, I was on the phone with my best friend yesterday and she said something to me and I was so tired. I was laughing so hard and so loud. And I looked over at both of the cats and they're just over there snoozing. I was like, oh, so I told her I was like, you want to know how I know
Belong here.
they're used to my bullshit because I don't be doing like I. They're like,
Mm.
oh, it's just another freaking
Yes.
Tuesday over here.
Hey, look at that. It was Tuesday too.
It was Tuesday,
It
yeah.
was Tuesday. It's just a regular Tuesday.
Yeah, no, that's what I
I
say
knew it.
whenever I do something over here. I'm like, oh yeah. One of my cats will freak out, and the other one is just like, this is just how she is. I don't know what you guys want from me. He's like, I just want her to feed me. That's really all I need. That's all I need.
You all know what your roles are.
Literally. That's what I tell people all the time. I'm like, Y'all think I work this hard for myself? I work this hard for my cats, okay? Because if I'm not here to take care of them, that means somebody else got to do it. And honestly, I don't trust a lot of people with my kitty cats. I mean,
Mm.
like, I do, because my cats are actually pretty low maintenance. Thank God. Thank God they're
I
low
feel like
maintenance.
that's kind of a description of cats, aren't they? Isn't that
A lot of people
like
say cats are like high maintenance, and I'm like,
what?
where?
No, it's the
I'm like,
opposite.
I'm like, where? Like, my cats are like they're like they're so boring.
Maybe high maintenance in that they wake you up early so that you have to feed them.
Look, the 3 a.m. feedings, I've been going through it for 4 years now.
That's high maintenance.
I just wake up at 3 a.m. now. Like, sometimes if I wake up, but they didn't wake me up, I'll just lay there. And I'm like, are they
You
going to
are
come?
well trained. You are well trained.
Yeah, they have trained me well. I know. I know. That's what being a parent is, right? It's just like, oh, I know they're going to be up soon. I got to get up.
Oh boy.
Okay. Tell me about the Wool Gathering trilogy, sis.
Let's go back to books.
That's how I'll tell you, that's exactly how this is. Like, I'll just be like, oh, tangent. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, but back to books.
We know what we're talking about. This is a podcast for books.
If you go on my channel and watch my interview that I did with Troy Duran, the narrator,
Uh-huh.
we I don't even we talked about books maybe 5 minutes of like the hour that we talked.
Well, you put so much pressure on him. He was your very first narrator.
I know, but it was so fun. Oh, literally, he was like, "We're gonna." I was like, "We're gonna have to talk again and talk about books."
Actually talk about books, right? I call it the Roomba of thought. It's not a train of thought because it doesn't go straight. It's a Roomba of thought because you're bouncing around.
The
But you'll still clean the house eventually.
house will be clean
The
eventually.
house will be cleaned. Okay, books, books, books. The, the Wool Gathering trilogy is the story of a teenager that falls in love with a boy that she only sees in her dreams. That is the appropriate reaction.
That's so sad. I'm
In the
depressed.
second book, wait, there's more. In the second book, she starts getting nightmares. So if it wasn't bad enough, the stakes are a little higher.
Poor
She
girl.
starts getting nightmares. And in the third book, she has to decide whether or not she's going to wake up. So choices need to be made. There are things, or she risks not waking up, maybe, I guess is the proper way to say it.
Now I'm
Reveal,
stressed.
reveal means awakening. So, like,
Ah.
there's hope, you know?
But that's so stressful. Does her dream boyfriend like does he go throughout the rest like all the books?
I mean, you're gonna have to, like, read
Okay.
it. That's a spoiler alert of some kind.
That's kind of
So the first book is it's a sweet romance. It's clean. It's very, I call it like cotton candy, first love type of thing where everybody's very dramatic about how much they love each other, but you're in high
uh
school and you have to deal with like mean girls and moving
love a
and
good YA romance.
right? Like it's simple.
Yeah.
It's not easy, but it's simple. You're
Yeah.
like, okay, I just need to stay away from the mean people. I've got responsibilities at home, but I don't have to worry about rent, like none of those things. You're well taken care of. You're a very sheltered, like middle class,
you're
upper middle class
you're
type of
just a
person.
just a
Yeah,
baby.
you're good. You're
A
good. And then
baby.
and then she's all like, "Oh, I'm having these weird dreams." And now she's wondering like, "Am I crazy? Like, is it weird that I'd rather be asleep? Like, that's not good, right? That's not good." Like, so it's this whole thing that she's dealing with. Um, and then the second one, it's more of like a paranormal mystery. It's like,
Got
why
you.
am I getting nightmares now? Like, what's this about? Like, this
Right.
is what she's dreaming. It gets, it sounds scarier than it is. I like saying, apparently, a lot of things are scarier than they are in my books.
That's how you She's
So,
like, the way I explain it makes it sound scary, but I promise
I
it's
promise
not
it's not.
scary. not scary, I promise. It's okay. It's okay. Look, I honestly, like, I've read a few books like that where I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be so scary. And then I'm like, oh, this isn't
That
scary.
wasn't bad at all,
Right.
you
Like,
know?
I didn't jump at all. Not even once.
No, I didn't. There's none of that. Some of
Oh,
that.
bro.
Yeah.
It's
Hmm.
scary when a book makes you jump scare.
Hmm.
I'm like,
I have not quite gotten that, but I've read books that have stayed with me long. I was just talking
mhm.
about this in my writers group yesterday, where I read The Omen when I was a kid. And I know it sounds like, oh, it's all these things about demons and devils and everything. But the one
Right.
thing that stuck with me is the scene where this guy was climbing over the cemetery fence.
Hmm.
And then, like, he has his arm over the spike of the fences.
Hmm.
And a dog grabs him and drags him down. It goes right through his armpit. And I remember reading this going, ah! So I don't even remember majority of the book. Like, yeah, yeah, I know, son of the devil, all these
Hmm.
jackal things, whatever. But a spike through the armpit.
Bro, that's crazy. Oh my gosh. Honestly, that makes me think. So I used to be in a book club like a couple of years ago with one of my used to be coworkers. And the very first book we read for book club was The Hacienda
Okay.
by, yeah, I don't know her name, and I am not going to be able to find the book myself.
Shame,
Um,
shame.
I could look it up, but it's like it's based in like Mexico in like the 19. Let me not lie. I'm gonna look it up because I was gonna lie, and I don't want to. I don't want to lie
I
to you.
swear I read this book.
I did, but it's so hard too because like it's a book that's in a genre that's like not a genre that I would normally read. And so it took me a second to like get, oh my God, it took me so long. And like my friend was
Mm,
like, you can't DNF in book club. And I was like, that's rude. That's not a nice thing to say to me.
pressure.
So I finished the book and it was a good book. It's called The Hacienda by Isabel Cañas. It's a,
Okay.
it's a gothic horror novel set in post
Gothic
independence
horror.
Mexico. Um, but there's a scene in the book like this girl moves to Mexico. She gets married. She moves to Mexico, and her husband is like a politician or whatever, and so he's like always in like the capital, and she's always like at home, like in this random ass field somewhere in like this mansion, and the mansion is
The
haunted.
hacienda.
Yeah, the hacienda, literally. And the mansion's haunted by the ghost of the husband's ex-wife.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. And like the new wife who's living there now, like she's like, oh, like the house is haunted, and everyone there is like, nah, no, it's not. Everybody's gaslighting the shit out of her, being like, the house literally isn't even haunted, bro. Like, what are you talking about? Meanwhile, they got herbs in the doorway, and like everybody leaves at a certain time. Like, don't come out of your room after 10 p.m. Like, and my house isn't haunted? That's
That's
crazy.
just normal, you know?
But there's like a whole like scene where the ghost wife like is they're trying to like exorcise her or something, and the wife's ghost comes out, and she ends up like she like rips the roof off of the house in like this tornado style freaking thing. And she like, spoiler for anybody who's gonna read the book, but like you gotta read the lead up because it's freaking like honestly like it's so nuts. She ends up killing her husband and then killing her sister-in-law because the sister-in-law was complicit in her death, and then the wife that's still alive ends up like, oh, actually, does she end up with him?
And
I
so,
don't
wait,
know.
who
The wife who's alive, not the ghost
ends
wife.
up with?
She, I don't know if she ends up with him,
Who's
but
him?
he's a priest. He's a priest who
Oh!
lived. He's a priest because there's a iglesia, a church on their property, and he's the priest on the property. And so he's like helping her like do these
I was
exorcisms, trying
like,
to get the
who's
ghost out.
him?
But I can't
The
remember
only
if
him was the husband, and he's
no,
dead.
he's dead. No, But like while her husband's like at the Capitol or whatever, she's like hanging out with the priest and being like,
Mm.
"Yo, like I think I'm crazy," and everyone seems to think I'm crazy. And he's like, "Bestie, I don't think you're crazy." And then like they do sleep together. I know, and I'm like, he's a priest. What are we doing,
First book in book club.
bro? The very first book in book club. Bro, it was so crazy. And I don't know if I don't remember if she ends up with a priest. I feel like she doesn't because like he's a priest, but like I don't really remember. But like it was that whole scene, like I could just see the roof coming off of the house and like just all this blood. Just I was like, oh my god, what's going on?
We have great imaginations.
Ah, yes. So anybody, if you want to read The Hacienda by Isabel Cañas, I do recommend it. It is a pretty good book. It's not spicy. Um, but
But
it
it's
does.
horrifying.
It's honestly like I literally was so like because I'm like I don't like scary things. I don't like scary things.
You're like, it's not spicy, but she does sleep with a priest.
Like yeah, but it's not like she like graphically sleeps with the priest. It's just kind of like they made love or whatever. Like one of those like Harlequin like
Closed door.
it's implied that they slept together, but like you don't like I don't think this was also like 2 years ago, so I really don't like
You
remember
know, it'd be
that.
funny. It'd be so funny if like you just assumed that they slept together, but they never actually did.
I'd have to text my friend and ask her because I was just talking to her earlier today. I have to text her and be like, "So you remember that time we read the Hacienda? Did they
Did
sleep
she sleep?
together?"
And she's gonna be like, "What are you talking about? He's a priest."
That doesn't mean anything, okay?
And you're like, "I could have sworn they slept together."
Let me tell you what. There's lots of books out there, lots of spicy books where women sleep with priests. So
Where
many.
are we going with this?
I told you, man. The tangents here are wild. But anyway.
That's not the headliner for this podcast, right?
Women sleep with priests. That's the
Don't
headline.
put my name on that.
I would never. I would never. Okay. All right. Back to books. Back to books.
Okay, right. Back to
Back to
business.
books.
Mm.
What pushed you to finally publish your books? I know that Twice Removed is your newest book, but what
Mhm.
pushed you to do Reverie?
Well, I wrote this book because I had a dream. It sounds cheesy, but I had a dream, and not the dream to be a writer necessarily. I had a dream about a girl that falls in love with a boy she sees in her dreams, right? So I was telling my husband that, and he says, "Well, that'll make a good short story." And I thought, "Oh, challenge accepted, right?" So I wrote the little short story, and then it started getting longer and longer. And I started writing my friends in the story and putting things in there, little cute things that happened, whatever. It just got long. Um, and then my friends would want to read it. They're like, "Oh my gosh, it's cute, whatever."
Mm-hmm.
And then they would say, "Hey, you should publish this." And I thought, "Oh, I have such great friends," you know, but I didn't take it seriously. And then this 17-year-old that was working for where I was for the summer heard about this book, and then she read it, and then she loved it, and then she asked if she can get the manuscript so she can read parts aloud to her friends that were sleeping over that night. And I thought, she's my target market, and if she
Mm-hmm.
is that obsessed with it, then maybe there really is something there.
Right.
So I thought, I know nothing about publishing, you know, engineer. So then nothing about publishing. And then I own my own photography business. So then I was like, well, like, let's learn, right? You'll learn how to figure out these things. And I go, okay, I'm gonna need to find an editor. But I don't know where to do that. I don't know these things. And I joined like writers groups
Yeah.
so I can it's a good resource. So I joined writers groups, and I'm like, I'm not totally in love with the story completely yet. There's something wrong with it, but I don't know what, right? So I read parts of it to my writers group, and then they're like, "Oh, well, yeah, because this guy's a douche." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, they're right. He is."
Our dream guy's a douche.
No, 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 not the main guy, a
Oh,
different
okay.
guy.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And then I was like, well, yeah, he's a douche. So I took that character, completely rewrote him, everything about him.
Gotcha.
And then I loved how the book came out for it, you know?
Gotcha.
So then we looked into working on this seriously, finding an editor,
Hmm.
stepping up, whatever. But it always took a back seat because I had a business, and or rather, I have a business. It's not technically closed yet, but like I have this business that was paying the bills and was my main source of income. So of course, that took priority, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm not like I don't have the time for this or whatever. Well,
Right.
in 2020 photography is not an essential thing. And
Yeah.
so I had to shut down my business for 6 months in 2020 and 6 months in 2021.
Oh.
Um, uh, and during that time, my husband says to me, you know, this might be the year. You kept saying you want to learn more, how you needed more time. Guess what?
We love your husband.
He's amazing. He really is. I love that he has so much. He's so supportive and he has all these visions and he really believes in me and really believes in our work and he's just like, yeah, you want to do this, you can do this, let's do this, right? So then it got published and I thought, oh great, you know, mission accomplished. I got it. That's a checklist, you know, like
Yeah.
one thing that's all happy, right? Um uh, and then people were like, that was great. When's the next one coming out? Oh, I go,
She said, I thought it was done, but okay.
I, I go, actually, I do have a continuation of this story. And they're
Mhm.
like, really? So I wrote Revenant. And here's the thing, right? Because I didn't know it was going to be a continuation, because I didn't know I accidentally wrote a series, right? I am one of those I am one of those authors that does not have the title of the trilogy on top of their books. I'm
Gotcha.
one of those authors that don't have book one, book two, or book three on it because I didn't know.
She said, I'm just a girl. What do you guys want from me?
I published the first book and then I was going to do the second one.
Right.
I can't write book two when the first one doesn't have book one on it.
That's fair.
And and the thing is, it's a direct continuation. Like it happens the next day. It's not like, oh, 6 months later. It's like the next day.
Right.
So it's like it really is a continue. It really is book two, right? So I didn't. So what I did instead was I tried to make it as similar as possible, right? So I've got book one,
Love
and
the
then
covers also.
I did the art. Thank you.
I love that.
And then I did book two to make it look similar.
Yes.
So I figured then you'll know it's kind of part of this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I started marketing it as a series, right? I'm like, oh, the Wool Gathering series, Wool Gathering series. And I come to the third book and I'm like, it's ending now.
Right.
Oh, this isn't a series, it's a trilogy. So like remark it again. Clearly didn't know what I was doing.
That's
But
okay.
you know,
Do any of us?
we're actually going to like re-release it sometime this year as an
Oh.
omnibus and redo the covers so that it actually does have one, two, and three, so that I people will not hate me.
Ah, people can get over it. They'll figure it out. They'll figure it out. All you gotta do is go online and look it up. That's what I do.
I'm like, this is book one, book two, and then okay. I have to show you something
Oh,
because
okay.
I don't know if it came up, right? Each of the hardcovers has another cover underneath it.
I'm in love.
We do that with the trilogy also. This is Reveal, and it's one of
Okay.
those premier things that, like, if you get the hardcover, you get it feels like 2 books.
Okay. Watch me order all of these right now. No, I have to order them next week when I get paid. Um, what was I saying? Oh, the covers, because I'm looking at them right now on your website. Because I'm like, I want to buy them right now. I'm like, I can't. I'm literally talking to her right now. ADHD.
Wait right there while I do this.
Right. Um, they're very like, and I don't know like what time period these are set in, but they very much give me like, um, early like 2000s era like teen book covers. And like I just remember seeing covers like this and being like, "Oh my god, I have to read that right now."
Twice Removed is actually set in 1999.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, I did that because I did not want to have to uh New Orleans changed after Katrina, and
Yeah,
I wanted to capture old New Orleans
fair.
pre-Katrina, right? And in 1999, they don't not everyone has cell phones, so it becomes a more interesting thing. And
Yeah.
then I got to introduce, the whole millennial Gen X type of experience of like, oh, we used to write mixtape. That's how you used to tell the
Oh,
person they like this.
mix
We could send mixtapes, and then, like
mixtapes.
it was cute to be able to do that. Although when I started writing it, I realized how complicated I did it for myself because I was all talking about the culture of the Philippines, and the Philippine American culture. That already is a big deal. And then New Orleans has its own culture. And
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure that was in there too. So now I've got these two different things in there. And then I'm like, oh, and then I'm throwing in 1999 and what the experience was like. The kids aren't going to know what that's like. I have to explain all that. So then that was in there too. Like, what did I do to myself?
You
But I was
didn't
already
know.
committed. I was in it. I had to keep going.
You didn't know. You didn't know till you got there, and you're like, okay, well,
We made it happen,
hey,
much like this podcast.
hey, that's what's important is that it happens.
Yep,
um,
yeah.
while you're writing, it kind of sounds like maybe you're a planner, but I could be wrong. Are you a planner or are you a pantser?
I'm a planter.
Ah,
So I start with an outline,
mhm.
and I know before I write my book. So, okay, here, I should rephrase. When I wrote Reverie, I was a total pantser. That was absolutely, I had no idea what was going on. I just wrote. I didn't even start it in the beginning. I started it in the middle and then wrote it. And oh my gosh, it was a pain to edit. That was the longest thing. Throw things out, rewrite things, try to make that make sense now that I've taken like entire chapters out. Like it was the hardest one to edit.
Mm,
Okay. The second one was um I knew kind of like a plot of like how it was gonna go, right?
mhm.
So it was way easier to edit. Reverie took me years. I mean, from start to finish, if you wanted to say, but that's not fair too, because there was a lot of learning, you
Yeah.
know, in there. But it took a long time. But Revenant was less than a year from conception to finished product. So
Gotcha.
like that was much faster in plotting. And so I did the same thing. Now, what I've learned when I was writing Twice Removed, because I had the summary all out, I had like the scenes all written out and everything. And then my character decides that he's going to take matters into his own hands and does things before he's supposed to. And then I'm like, okay, so now I have to divert, right?
Hmm.
So I've realized as I'm writing my fifth book, I have made an outline,
Hmm.
but it does tend to change. So I guess that what makes me a planter. I
Gotcha.
plot it, but we pants what's coming in between.
That's fair. That's. I wish I was a planner. I'm such a pantser. Like I'll just sit down and I'll just be like click clacking away, just like.
But like there are pros and cons, right? I go
Mm-hmm.
for like as a pantser, it's a pain to edit, but like how much fun do you have writing? It's
Oh
just all fun.
yeah.
It's all a good time, right? And sometimes when as a plotter, you're like, okay, it's almost like an assignment sometimes. I have to do this in order for this to happen. So then
Right.
it feels more like work, but you have a vision, so that kind of works out.
Yeah. I
Pros and
never.
cons.
I just have
Pros and
like
cons.
ideas that are like this big, and I'm like, that's gonna be a whole 300-page book. Haven't
That's how it
haven't
starts.
haven't got there yet,
It's
but
the mustard seed.
literally just literally.
We were actually talking about that in the writers group yesterday. We were talking about like how many people will just do this, how many people will do that, and like
Hmm.
it's so nice to see all these different writers having different methods. And
Hmm.
what I like about the community now, and I guess I don't know how it was back then because I wasn't part of the community back then, but I feel like now people are understanding what works for one writer is not necessarily what's going to work for another. You do you,
Hmm. Yeah.
you know? And now, like when you used to listen to master classes, for example, they'll say, no, you have to write this time at this date. You have to do
Hmm.
these many words. And then now you'll listen to it and you'll be like, well, this worked for me. I don't know what he was doing, but like,
Right.
and it's nice to see that you can all still get to that finished product.
Yeah. 100%. Uh,
Hmm.
yeah. It's because I'm also a writer, so like I can definitely feel with the I don't have a writers group. I also don't know where to find one. I should probably try and find one. Um, but I know it's like really good, especially to like bounce ideas off of people and
Hmm.
like stuff like that. Is that something you do when you get stuck, or what do you do when you're like at a scene and you're like, I don't know where to go from here?
My writers group is great in terms of like, sometimes when I'm not even planning to write, after I finished Revenant, I said, I'm going to take a break before I write the next one. I'm not going to rush it or whatever. And I would attend the writers group, not sharing anything, just listening to everybody.
Mhm.
And it's inspiring. And
Yeah,
it kind of like gets me to want to write again. So it's a nice environment to have, sort of thing. When I get stuck, I usually divert. I'll have a different creative outlet. You know, it takes me longer to write, but at least something else gets out there.
yeah.
Like this past January, I was having a hard time writing, and our library did this whole book diorama contest, and I just threw myself into it. Like I was like, I'm doing this, right? And it wasn't writing. All my writing time ended up me like hot gluing my hand together or whatever. But it helped. Like I feel like after it was accomplished, I don't feel frustrated. I felt like, oh, something happened, and then now I can get back to this. I think the best ideas come when you're doing something that isn't necessarily related. It also comes when you don't have any way to write down the ideas.
Girl, look, look. I know.
Like when you're showering
Uh,
or like driving
it's
and you're
always
like,
when I'm driving. Always. Always. Or it's like a half baked idea I have when I like wake up at 3 in the morning and I'm like, oh, this would be really good. I'm totally gonna remember this when I wake up at 7:45. I don't. I'll wake up and I'll
okay,
be like, what
okay,
was that thing?
I'm a genius. I'm a genius. I said, all right, like, you can't get up and then remember and then write down your ideas. People keep
Hmm.
saying you should do that, but you're sleepy and then you lose your sleep or whatever, right? No, you
Yeah.
want to keep in the sleep zone. It's better for your health, right?
Right.
So then I go, no, no, no. I've got a smartwatch now. So
Ooh.
all I do is I'll remember, I'll wake up, I just hit record and just vomit the words, right? Like it's great. Okay, so pro tip, when you do that, don't talk into your phone like this. Because when you listen back to it, you are a total serial killer. It is, I was horrified. I was trying to listen back to this thing, and then I was just like, oh my gosh, I don't want to hear this.
Can I tell
Make it stop. Make it
Can I
stop.
tell you? I've done that before with my phone because I'll wake up and I'm like, this is the best idea I've ever had. And so I'll record it. And I'm like, blah, 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 blah. And then I listen to it the next day and I'm like, what?
So I guess not so much a genius,
I
but
mean, if
I thought I was when I came up with the idea.
I guess it's like if you can get past the way your voice sounds when you're like 98% asleep, then like maybe the idea was probably good, but I just can't get past it. Like, oh yeah, this would be such a good. Literally. Like I sound
And
like I'm free,
then,
like I'm calling and asking for ransom money or something. Like,
yes, I feel like
literally,
I
like,
want to check on my kids, check on the dog, make sure everything's okay.
is my husband
Gosh,
still next to me in the bed? Like, what's going
right.
on?
Was he abducted? Like, what's going on here?
Was I sleepwalking again?
So don't do that, maybe.
I mean, you can if you can. And it's so hard because like people already like most people hate the way they sound like on recordings, and so like then you're hearing your sleepy self in a recording, and you're just like, wow, somehow that's worse.
It's so much worse.
Like
So much
how
worse.
how it's I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Mhm.
That's so funny. I I had the same idea a few years ago, and then I was like, you know what? I'll just have to forget them because I can't.
Yeah.
At
It
one point,
wasn't that important anyway.
literally, at one point, I did try to keep like a notebook by my bed so I could like write things down.
Mm.
It
How
just was,
successful was that?
you know, not very because I would wake up the next day and it'd be like left orange, and I'm like,
uh, at
what?
least you can still read it, like I think majority of the time you can't even read it.
Yeah, sometimes I'd wake up and it'd just be like a bunch of scribbles, and I'm like, what was I saying? I'm like, yeah, it's
Hmm.
okay. It wasn't
Hmm.
meant to be.
It wasn't important.
It's okay. If it was meant to be, it would come back. That's what's important. What are you currently working on? Are you working on a new book?
I am. I'm working on another book. It's a story of somebody that has the ability to dream about the future,
Ooh,
except now she's dreaming about somebody else's past.
that sounds like tea. Because what do you mean? Someone else's past.
Yep, yep. There's gonna be growth there. Yeah.
Mm, what a tease. What a tease, man.
Hopefully it comes out this year. I'm still working like in Twice Removed, it was a story of the immigrants here and like life here. And what I wanted to do was bring back some of it to the Philippines.
Hmm?
So it's it's a story of that girl that when she was growing up in the Philippines as a child, she had
Gotcha.
that ability, like
Hmm?
uh foretell futures and know she knows what her future is and everything. And now she's a young adult and has no idea about her future. So she stopped dreaming that way when she moved here.
Hmm?
And now as a young adult, like what young adult knows what they're gonna do in their future? You know what I mean? Like you're 20, what do you know?
Bro,
You
I'm
don't
30 and
know.
I still don't know.
Exactly. Exactly. Like it's all that unknown. For somebody that had the ability to be able to prophesize the future, right? Now she can't even tell what her own future is going to be like.
right.
And then her mom takes her back to the Philippines for the summer, and then she starts dreaming again. But it's not about her. Well, it is kind of about her, I guess, but it's a past. It's not a future. So like that's what we're working on.
Mm, okay. Be on the lookout for this
Yep,
book.
yep, yep, yep.
Do you have a working title?
I'm not announcing it
Okay.
yet.
Respect. I respect it. I respect it. Okay, okay, okay. All right. Now, since we've talked about writing, let's talk about reading.
Yes. Okay.
All right. Are you reading anything right now?
Right now, no, because I'm actively writing. When I'm actively
Ah,
writing, I sometimes really have to stop reading.
that's fair.
Like uh I can't do both.
She said I cannot multitask.
Yes, yes. I
Okay.
don't know if you've interviewed some writers that have multiple projects happening at the same time.
Yeah.
I can't do that. I have to work on one thing. I can't bounce. So like I also can't do that when I'm reading. I mean, like I have to have one thing.
Yeah.
I stopped. I was reading Mona Lisa's Eyes, and then I had to stop because I was actively writing, and then so
Mm.
I haven't finished it yet. But that's what's going to have to finish.
Nice.
That in
Okay.
a million Junes, I think, is what I wanted to like go into.
Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, no, I'm in the middle of like three books right now, but like one of them is my friend's book that I'm reading so I can interview her on the podcast.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, this
Okay.
is her second book, but like it's like the first book in like a fantasy series that she's writing. Um, so like I'm reading that, but then like I'm also reading like a couple of other books. And obviously I keep buying books and which like this isn't even like my microphone is on a stack of books right now. And then I've got like three or four books in my living room that have not made it into the library yet. So,
Well, they said, right, that TBR is a menu. It's not um It's not a requirement,
Oh
right?
yeah, no, we're trying.
It's your menu. It's
Yeah,
like what you want when you're ready for it. It'll be there.
yeah, I'm trying very hard. My goal this year was to read more of my physical TBR.
Hmm.
I have not been doing well with that. It's just, you know what? I just blame Kindle Unlimited
It's
because, like,
easier.
it is. And, like, now that the algorithm, right? Like, it's curated to me. So it's like,
Mm.
hey, girl, read this little snippet from this book. And I'm like, ooh, maybe I should read this book. And then I, like, click on it. And I'm like, ooh, I like that synopsis. Add. And I'm
I
like,
went into this thing wherein like I was doing audiobooks because then I can do it while I'm working sometimes.
yeah.
Right? Not definitely not when I'm writing, but like when I'm doing other things like laundry,
Yeah.
like when I'm doing adulting things,
Yeah.
then I can listen to it. So I was listening to audiobooks, and then I liked how this one audio narrator would do the book, right? And so there was a time wherein I started going through her books that she was narrating, not necessarily by the author. So
Mhm.
like it would jump, the genres would jump from like this is a romantic comedy. So I started out with a romantic comedy, and then um the next one I read I think was a mystery of some kind, and I was like, oh, that was so different. And then the
Yeah.
other one was like a murder, and I was like, okay, yeah, but I like the way she read. So then I think I've screwed up my algorithm. My algorithm is like, we have no idea what you are reading and what you want.
The algorithm said Z's unpredictable. We don't know what to do.
Unpredictable, and
Yeah.
then you go through when I have in book clubs, right? And what I like about book clubs is that they kind of push you to read outside of your comfort zone,
Hmm.
like like your very very first book that you read. Um,
Shout out to Ashley for picking that book.
so that's nice when I'm not writing and I'm like like I'm in a tour, for example. That's a good time for me to be
Hmm.
on to be reading, and I'll do it through the book club because I'll be like, okay, that's what everyone's talking about. Then I'm part of a different book club that's called 15-page book club, and it's basically whatever you're reading. So you come into the group and then you talk about the book you're reading, and in 15 pages, do you kind of know if you like it or not, or can you guess what the plot is? You know,
Yeah.
the cool thing about this, why I like this group too, right, is because it came about. The owner of the establishment was like saying that he loves to read, but he never has time to read more than 15 pages of a book. So we have 15-page book club so that people would come there and talk about it, right?
I
And
love
what I
that.
and it's the most unhinged book club I've ever been to
I
because people are reading all sorts of different things, right?
Yeah.
And then I don't know why, but it always devolves.
Of course it does. It has to.
And it's great. It's great to be able to talk to people like this and then laugh about certain things and then people start reading all these other books. Love it.
I have wanted to start a book club like that. Where just like it doesn't matter like what book you're reading. Like I could be reading like a romance, and this person can be reading a mystery. This person can be reading a horror book, and just like we just meet up and be like, "Yo, tell me about your book," because like necessarily like if you're a horror reader, you're not gonna want to read romance. You might not want to read mystery, and vice versa. You know.
Yes.
So
No, it's
like
exactly that. It's great. It's a great book club. Go
I
for
would
it. Do it. Do it.
I have to find other people to be in it with me. And like the last book club I was in with my friend Ashley, like I obviously was always picking romance because that's my jam. Um, and she was always picking like really weird kind of stuff. And then she added her friend into it, and her friend was also picking like really weird stuff. And like at some point, I was like, guys, I can't do this. I cannot do this anymore because y'all are. We read one book, and all of us hated it. All of us wanted to DNF it, but like you can't DNF in book club. So we all had to suffer through the book, and I'm like, oh my god.
You
I was
can't
like,
DNF in book club. It sounds like you can't talk about Fight Club. It's like a
bro,
rule.
it literally the soonest I could, because that was when I was in my old apartment. when I moved, I like was packing up my books and I was like going through them so I could get rid of some. And I was like, this is the first to go. You can go to half price books where you belong.
And like it's weird too. It's like so unfair too because like it might just not be your jam, right?
Right.
And then but then other people will absolutely love it, but then those are for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And then the
exactly.
problem with book clubs wherein you're forced to read it is then you're now using up the time that's for you, for your books, for your reading that you enjoy into something that you're not enjoying.
Yeah,
So it kind of like ruins the fun.
I
So
was.
I say you should just do that kind of book club where you're like read whatever you want and we're going to talk about it.
That's exactly what I want to do. 100%. I just got to find some people to do it.
That's what this podcast is.
Literally. Literally. I'm just like, tell me about stuff. It also just gives me more stuff to add to my TBR. So, like, can't be mad at it, you know?
Hmm.
And I just really like talking to other authors, like, because sometimes I'm just like, I just don't know if I can do this. And then I talk to other authors and they're like, bruh, it's so hard. And I'm like, okay, all right.
Not alone.
It's literally not just me who's having a problem, okay? It's everyone else. Okay, okay.
Hmm.
Those are my peeps. I
See,
got it.
yeah, that's what the writing group's for. So your
Yeah.
writing group is your podcast.
I try.
Made it happen.
I do what I can. I'm all about the manifesting, you know. Well, you just told me that you listen to audiobooks, but do you prefer paperbacks, hardbacks, Kindles?
So on my shelf, I prefer hardcovers,
Obviously.
right? Um, for ease, it is the e-readers are so much easier.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I mean, throw it in your purse. Batteries like you can
Bruh.
read at night. My favorite part of that is I can read at night. So
Yes.
like my husband's asleep, the lights are all off, and
Mm-hmm.
I can read, and I don't feel
Yes.
guilty. I don't feel like I'm bothering him. So that's what I really love about the e-readers, right?
Yeah.
Paperbacks are so fun when you're like at the pool or at the beach and I mean like if you didn't really care about the paperback, like you didn't
Right.
care about damaging it, right? That is such a nice thing in your hand to like curve and hold and
Mm-hmm.
read. Like that's what I like about paperbacks. So they all have their place.
Yeah. No, I
Hmm.
definitely. I started a book, and like you know, like when the paperback is just a lit, it's a pretty thick paperback, and you're reading it, but you're just at the beginning of the book. So this part of the book is
So
so heavy.
heavy.
And so you're just like, all right, I'm just gonna curl this side around.
Yeah.
That way it evens out.
Oh,
I was just doing that
yep.
with another book, but it was so hard too because I was laying in the bed and it's usually just me and the cats. So like, or it's just me until the cats decide they want to come get in the bed. Um, and I was sitting there reading it and I was like curving the book, but like also it's like I've got like this one lamp on that's like it's a light, but like it's not like a light. So like I'm just like, okay, all right, then I have to flip the page and then I have to like do this whole thing. And I'm just like, I was like, I'm gonna get through this chapter and then we're gonna go to bed because this is hard. This
The
is a
struggle
daylight
is
book.
real.
No, dude, the struggle is so real. As a reader, the struggle is real. um, what books or authors would you recommend other people read besides you?
Hmm. Like other indie authors?
Yeah, indie authors, mainstream authors, whatever you
I
like.
want I want to recommend indie authors,
Do it.
but like I feel no, because I feel bad. I feel like I'm gonna miss somebody, and
It's
then
okay.
I'm gonna end this, and then I'm gonna be like, I should have mentioned them too.
Look, you know what you can
Uh,
do? Just email me and I'll make an honorable mentions. I'll make an honorable mentions in the credits.
I do recommend try picking indie authors. Like the mainstream authors, they've got their following already, right?
Mhm.
But I'm a big fan of like supporting indie authors and then reading their books. They have some great stories out there too. It's easier to grab things on audiobooks when it's mainstream for sure, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, so you've got that. And the thing is, it's really in your mood. Like sometimes I'm in the mood for a mystery. Sometimes I want my rom-com, like I want that feel good thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like hard to say. Like My absolute favorite book of all time is The Little Prince. Right?
Okay.
It is, yeah, I read it when I was a kid. I liked it. I read it when I was a kid because I thought it was a kid's book because the drawing in front was kitty. So I thought it was a kid's book and I read it and I liked it.
Mhm.
And then in high school, it was required reading for our class and we broke it down and I loved it, right? And then when I became a mom, I read it to my boys and they loved it. So this book, every time I read it or every time, and then they have movies. So now when I watch it
Yeah.
also, like it has a different message. So I think that's like my favorite part of this whole thing
Yeah.
is that no- what different age you're in, you pick up something else.
Yeah.
Someday,
I,
someday I'll write a book just like that.
well, I think it's also
Or
that
maybe I did.
you might have. Hey, you never know. But it's I think it's also with books like that, it's like the sentimental quality that it has cuz like literally like the book has like grown up with you like it saw you as a kid, saw you as a teen, seen you as a mom, like
Yeah.
it's been with you through like all the stages in your life and I think that that's,
I
you
keep
know,
getting like different I get the English version, I have the French version, I
mhm.
have the graphic novel, like I keep getting different types of it. I got a little
Yeah.
pocket book of it. So my goal is to be able to read it in actual French. I've
Oh,
gotten
okay.
as far as the acknowledgments.
You know what? Those acknowledgments are very important, okay?
Yes, 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 they are.
Acknowledgments are always important. Those are overlooked. You know what? Whenever I read a book, I will always read the what's it called? Um
Dedication? No.
yes, I always have to read the dedication. Like and I don't know why, and I think it's probably because when I wrote my book, like I put a lot of thought into the dedication that I
Mm-hmm,
wrote in my
mm-hmm,
book.
mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, man, I wonder like what all these other authors like what their dedications are. And I'm just like, sometimes I'm like, ah. And then
Yep.
sometimes I'm like,
Some of them are really fun and some of them
mm-hmm.
are really meaningful, you know?
Yeah.
And some of them you don't even know. It just says for this. And then you're
Yeah.
like, what's the story there, you know?
Right. Exactly. So I
Mm.
love reading the dedications just because like it was never something that I would read before, but now I like before I even like
It's
go to
fun.
chapter 1, I'm like, where's the dedication? I know there is
And
one.
the thank yous also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah. My thank you page, like everybody's lucky it was only like one page. Cause like I could have went on five ever about it. And I want to think I always hit him with the I think I wrote what did I write in it? I think I wrote I'd like to thank the Academy or something like that.
Nice. Nice.
I think I'm pretty sure I wrote that and then I was like, LOL. I just had to write
That's
that.
great.
Like
I've always wanted to say that. That's
I
great.
literally I've always wanted to say I want to thank the Academy,
I'd
so
like
here
to
we
thank the
are.
Academy. Yeah.
And then go through like my siblings and my parents and blah 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 and all that stuff. So like, yeah, no, just a lot of the thank yous
Mhm.
and the dedication. I'm like because you know that like the people that are in the thank yous are definitely the people who were like in the shit with the author while they were going through it with this book.
You know, when I wrote my fanfic book at 11 years old, I had a thank you page. I don't remember half the people I thanked.
You were 11.
It's a first and last name, and I don't remember who this person is. Wow. Just wow.
She said, honestly, she was like, they were so great to me when I was 11, but right now, I
I
don't
don't know who
know.
you are.
She's like, just know that I thanked you.
Mm. It's on the page.
You were very important to me.
On the page. And it was funny too because like I had forgotten about not forgotten about the book, but like I didn't know what happened to it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I had moved over here, whatever. And then my brother, after Reverie was published, I think Revenant was published, he goes, "Hey, I found this thing here in the house." And I was like, "What?" And then like he takes a picture and he shows me and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, that's my very first book." Right? And this thing had to be hand carried because there's only one of it, right?
Yeah.
Hand carried from the Philippines to the United States and then hand carried from Arizona, Vegas, I think, or Arizona, where they were, and then brought to Chicago so that I can have it.
I hope you put that in a shadow box.
Yeah, it's downstairs on my shelf, and I have a thank you in one of my books for the people that made this happen.
I love that. That's
I
so
was
funny.
reading that book. I was trying to read. I was like, you know what? I have to read this book all over again, right? And I just remember how like dramatic I am as I'm writing this thing. And my little 11, 12-year-old me, right, saying damn it's here and damn it's there and slamming hands down on the tables, leaning forward with dramatic pause, like very dramatic cut.
Look, prepubescent girls, so dramatic, man. And then you're writing down everything. The drama is gonna be
Yes.
so crazy.
Yes. Things that have nothing to do with the plot.
Why would they have anything to do with the plot?
I'm like reading this. Who cares?
You should go through that and re-edit it and like release
Yeah,
it or something.
I should actually retype it because like the ink has faded. Like it's fading. I have to like do it over again.
Oh yeah,
Man, that's gonna
can't
take a
lose that.
while.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That's so. That is so cute. I love that so much. I love your family. Your brother, who did your brother bring it to you?
No, my brother brought it to my friend who was flying over and then it did that. But I love that my brother found it, and wrapped
Yeah,
it in plastic so it doesn't get wrecked or whatever.
I
But
love that. They were like, Z has to have this.
Do
I
you know
love
how
that.
I know my brothers are proud of me? They have stopped telling people that I'm adopted.
Oh, that's crazy. You're not actually adopted, right?
Nope. Gaslighting me all my life. Gaslighting me all my life.
Siblings.
Yep, yep, older brothers, you know.
Yeah, no. It's so crazy that you say that because my dad, God love him, God rest his soul. He used everybody used to tell me that I was adopted because I didn't act like my family. Because like my family, like if you ever meet them, they're like it's huge family, loud, like just in
Okay,
your
still
face.
good. Okay, still correct.
Me, when I was
Okay.
younger, I was very like quiet to myself, very mild mannered, just kind of like don't want to make any waves.
Mm.
And so they're like, Jonna, like you can't be, you have to be adopted. Like there's no way that you're like really. And I'm like, first of all, you see that lady right there, our mother. This is her face.
The one that looks like me?
Like this is her face. Like if you ever see a picture of me and my mom, literally her face is my face. I'm just lighter skinned than she is. That's all it is. Like we have the same face. And one of my favorite stories to tell about my dad, when I turned 21, I wanted to have an all white birthday party. Like
Okay.
because like
And spaghetti.
look,
Tacos.
because as I've gotten older, I've gotten more dramatic. And
Ah.
I'm like, I want an all white, hence my shelf of tiaras. Um, so I was like, I want an
Should have been
all,
wear you should wear one every time you do a podcast.
bro. Honestly, I think about it, but then sometimes I start like scrambling, and then I'm like, I don't have time to put it on my head. And I also like talk a lot with my hands, so like it's a lot. Um, but my dad, when I turned 21, I was in college, and I had came home for the weekend to celebrate my birthday, and I did not know that this happened until I got back to school. One of my friends goes, John, I didn't know that you were adopted. And I was like, what? I was like, I'm not. She was like, you're not? No. Who told you that? She was like, your dad was telling people that. My dad was telling people that? She was like, yeah, he told my dad told my friends and a group of a bunch of like drunk people that I was adopted. and that the reason they threw me my big 21st birthday party was because they wanted me to make sure that they knew that they loved me.
You win.
I was like,
You win. My brothers have not done that, you
bro,
know.
it was so crazy. So then so I immediately called my dad. I'm like, Dad, I'm like, did you say this to my friends? And he's like, well, I might
Well,
have said something like that. I don't know. And I'm like, why would you say that? He was like, and you know what's crazy? Because one of my friends that was there actually adopted.
okay.
And my dad was like, yeah, like I felt really bad because I knew one of your friends was adopted, but like I didn't know which one. And so you continued to tell the story of my fake adoption?
You're
What?
like, if I don't know, it doesn't matter.
I was like, Dad, I love you so much. I was like,
That's excellent.
I
I
was
think
like, you're,
he'd get along with my brothers.
bruh. My dad could get along with a freaking brick wall. Like he could get like just like I definitely get that part of my personality from him. Like my dad was real quiet and like stoic, and like I can be like that. But boy, once you got him talking, once y'all were friends, besties.
I can't imagine you quiet and stoic.
Oh,
You have
you
too
could.
much personality for that.
That's as I've gotten like older and like more independent, because I grew up in a house with four siblings. So I have two older
Okay.
brothers, an older sister, and a younger sister. And their
Okay.
personalities are way bigger than mine. Way bigger than mine. Um, but I was, 4 out of 5. So I was just kind of like I was like, well, everybody else seems kind of loud. I feel like maybe I should just chill out.
You made your own personality.
I did. And now as I've gotten older, I'm just like, man, fuck that.
Well, you don't live with them anymore. You're by yourself.
Yeah.
So you're like, you know what? I can make all the noise now.
Yeah, it definitely comes out when I'm like on the phone or something. Like I'll come in the house talking to like I'll be on the phone with my sister or my friend and I'll walk in the house and the cats are like waiting by the door for me and I'm literally in the middle of like a normal people sentence. Like, oh yeah, I was at work today and da 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 da. And as soon as I walk in the door and see the cats and I'm like, hi, into the phone. Hi, handsome boys. You guys are so handsome. And my sister's like, I love that your voice immediately changes when you see the cats.
Because you're not a psycho. Only psychos don't change your voice.
I was like, those are my witty babies.
Hmm.
They're my witty
Only
babies.
psychos don't change your voice when they talk to animals.
Bruh.
Hmm.
Honestly, like, and the difference between Jana's customer service voice and Jana is totally different. Totally different person. I used to work a at a kids clothing store, and we would have to call. Like, if we didn't have the product, we could call another store and see if they had it. And
Uh-huh.
one of my friends worked at the other store, and so like sometimes she would call me or I would call her and be like, "Thanks for calling, blah blah blah. This is Jana. How can I help you?" And she'd be like, "Hey, it's me." And I'm like, "What up, girl? What you need?"
Time and place.
Literally. And everybody like, "Who were you talking to?" I was like, "Oh, that was just Tony from the other store. She wants me to look for these pants real quick." They're like, "Okay."
But your podcast voice is your regular Jonah voice.
Yes, it is my regular degular. Um, well, since you have multiple, okay. So I know Reverie. Look, I know. I'm such a it's the ADHD. Like
Okay.
it's it just comes out of me. Um, if you were to, let's do Reverie because it's a trilogy. If you were going to have someone portray your characters in a
Ooh.
Reverie trilogy, movie or TV series, and we had, I would like to say, unlimited budget,
Ooh.
who would you cast?
Huh. That's a good one. I don't know. Okay. I'll have to do research on this. What are you doing to me? I'm
I'm
gonna end up
sorry.
casting my entire like books.
Hey, and then you know what we can do? Make a Tubi movie about them.
Yes.
Okay,
Wait, what's oh that's good. That's good. I'll have to think about this.
okay.
Hmm.
So for the future, next time I talk to Z, she will have an answer.
I will. I will indeed. I will have an entire cast.
um, what advice do you have for people who are aspiring writers?
Write without fear, edit without mercy.
Ooh, period. That was some savage type advice right there. I love it.
It's so hard to edit though. Like you worked hard on these words and then sometimes it just doesn't fit and you have to axe it, right? Like it
Mm-hmm.
hurts. It hurts. And then when you bring it to your editor and your editor goes like this isn't working, you can't take it personally. But you do because it's work that you did, right? And
It's your baby.
it's your soul in the page type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't your 9 to 5 kind. Like it's not like you didn't care when you were writing it. You
Right.
cared. So you care about the editing. So editing without mercy is, I think, toughest thing that you have to suck up to. The writing without fear, there are two things from that, right? Like, um, when you're writing and you're all in and it's so much fun and it's great, like go for it. But a lot of times people restrain themselves because they're scared. You know, when I wrote the trilogy, I did that because also like it's a great story. But
Mm-hmm.
I didn't put any of my culture in it because I also thought that that wasn't something people wanted to read, right? And so there was a sort of a fear there.
Yeah.
And when I write without the fear and I wrote Twice Removed, it was so fulfilling also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the trilogy is fantastic. It's fun. It's great. I love it. And then you've got this other book that's also Twice Removed was super meaningful and in different ways.
Yeah.
And both of those had to be written without fear. And then the editing without mercy is just it's the professional part of writing.
The way she was like professional. She's like
Oh.
crying her eyes out. She's like, just rip my heart out and stab it, why don't you?
I have this document file that just has all the cut things just thrown in there
Mm-hmm.
so that it still exists somewhere, but like it's never going to see anything.
I mean, you never know. It might you might can throw it somewhere. You never know.
Yeah,
Never
maybe
know.
someday. hmm
Maybe. Hey, you
But
never
yeah,
know. That's good advice. Okay.
yay.
Da-da-da. Okay. Last question.
Oh, okay.
Where can everybody find you?
The books can be found typically where anywhere books are sold.
Gotcha.
Right, it should be. And if you can't find it in your local library, tell them to get it. And then you can find it in your local library, and then you can read for free.
Period.
Yeah, so it's wherever books are sold, and it's also on Kindle Unlimited.
Ooh.
Mhm.
I love Kindle Unlimited.
You just mentioned that.
I did.
All 4 books are there.
Nice. Kindle Unlimited sponsor me. Um, Let me get Kindle Unlimited for free.
Hint, hint.
um, and then you guys can also find Z's books on her website, zlaxon.com, which I will link in the description. I think that is all I have. Z, thank you so much for being here. I had such a good time. I hope you had fun.
Thanks for the conversation and the laughter.
Oh, man, I'm glad that you had a good time. For anyone who is watching, if you made it this far through everything, please make sure
Through all the
you
tangents.
through all the tangents. Please make sure you go and follow Z wherever she is on social media. I will be sure to link in the description. Please make sure you rate, review, and subscribe to Booking It with Jonna. It does help me a little bit. Not that YouTube pays me, but maybe they will eventually. And then you guys can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at the @ sign. It's Jonna _ One day I'll change it, but right now it's at it's Jonna _ Z, thanks for being here.
Thank you very much.
All right, everyone. I will see you next time where I will be booking it with somebody else.